What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. Today, doing a VOD review of Darth Nub here, who ended up winning the America's Dark Star Cup. Shout out to him, our most recent world champion, our reigning world champion, and now he's going back to Worlds after winning this cup. I mean, this guy is, I would say, pretty underrated, honestly, becoming better and better rated. But like the last few sets, this guy has just been on an absolute tear. And so he is somebody who I'm very excited to see going back to the World Championship. This is one of the games from the Dark Star Cup where he played a line that I think, this is the line where I think like the stocks have risen the most for it over the last like week. If you bought this comp, a week ago and we're playing it a lot, a week later, this is now a very, very meta line. At the beginning of the patch, we were thinking there's only two AD lines that exist. It's Corki and it's Master Yi. And now the line that Darth Nub ends up playing this game, I think, I would say is actually better than both of those lines if you can get a good spot for it. So we're in Scouting Party here. We have an extra augment reroll. I mean, we see Money Hungry, which is a perfectly serviceable first augment. Just start the game with plus 7 gold. Also, I will say, isn't it kind of crazy that this gives us 7 gold now and this gives us 10 gold of champions? Yes, I get it. You get a 3 cost, but like, come on, man. I feel like these augments are just... They are not the same, but that's okay. We will take the augment that I think is much better here in the Money Hungry here. This is just going to be a lot of extra econ for us across the course of the game. You never feel bad playing a game from an econ augment start, and you'll also see the items that we start with here. Bow plus glove plus cloak here allows us to slam Kraken if we'd like. Now, we're probably going to loss streak these first few fights, so there's no real need to end up slamming it. We're also going to scout around the rest of the lobby and see, okay, what's going on here? Because we could slam Kraken easily, we could slam Last Whisper easily, and then just play this into like a Corki line or a Master Yi line. So a lot of viable paths to us. We do pick up this Primordian opener, which we are going to field her here. And feel pretty good about it, right? I mean, this is just a totally reasonable opener to play, and we're likely to loss streak here, which honestly, Darth Nub in a lot of the games opted into to loss streak, which is a path that I find quite surprising because I always felt when I was playing this patch that Lost Streak felt really, really awkward. It felt really bad to be stuck playing Lost Streak and, not being able to spike super, super hard. But you can see Darth Nub in so many, spots like this where he actually has a lot of upgraded units already. He has the Caitlyn 2 and the TF2 that he could think about fielding, but now he would rather just play this Econ opener, Lost Streak, and then spike his board much later. And I think part of the reason why he's so excited to do that is because he wants to look for specific items. And we'll talk about later, this comp needs really, really specific items. And so you oftentimes would like to play it from a loss streak so that you can get those item anvils and get to the items for it. Trade Quest, I mean, an easy pickup here over the Tiny Dupes. Tiny Dupes just not very good in general, unless you're playing some kind of one-cost reroll, which doesn't really exist in the meta right now. So fine by us. We can just pick this up here and have a pretty good time. We're going to take Chain Vest here as a tank item because we're not too happy with any of our other item options. And you will see now on 2-5, which is a little late, but not the latest in the world, we're going to get the Mountain in here. So obviously, you guys know what the thumbnail shows. We are playing towards Xayah this game. And we can also make Kraken right now if we do, want to play towards Xayah here and hopefully have this kill an extra unit here. Mountain is actually not like super, super broken for Xayah. It's actually like a middling option. If you get it in 2-1, it feels quite good. If you get it in something like 2-5 here, this is really not your favorite option as far as Stargazers, but it's still pretty good, especially because we have Trade Quest coming as well, which is going to give us another spat to, potentially play around. There's a lot of value in just having all these extra spats. Maybe the dream is you can find some kind of like spat augment, like Earth that will actually like give you value for having more spats, and then you can kind of go very, very crazy with the Mountain here. But aside from that, it's just pretty good stats. Allows you to play really as many Stargazers as you want. You can go higher on the Stargazers and fit a ton in and get to the high levels of Mountain, or you can go lower on it and use the fact that you're playing the Mountain to easily play things like 3 Stargazer, 4 Stargazer, without having to commit to playing a lot of Stargazer units themselves, which is cool. We did complete our 5 loss here. Darth Nub gonna slam the chain here because he's a little bit afraid that this board might lose to Krugs, which I think we should be fine, but Krugs are scary, so I get it here. And we get our anvils here. We really want bows out of these anvils. And here's the start of the struggle is that we actually do not hit a single bow here, so we're gonna opt to take sword here. Just saying, we'd love to make some items, and then, oh, we pop another anvil and actually miss on bow again here. So we're gonna be forced to take sword here, which I imagine will end up being for a Deathblade, and yep, we are gonna make that here. So BIS Xayah, if you can reach it, is red buff plus Kraken plus another Kraken. That's 4 bows, and that's why Darth Nub wanted to loss streak so hard. Ideally here, he would have got bow. Can you? Yeah, okay. I was going to say it seems a little sus to go for that. Climb the ladder actually sounds really, really nice here, and we are going to pick this up. Okay. I mean, if you think about something like Stargazer, Vertical Stargazer in the mountain, you're actually going to have a ton of units climbing that ladder that are the same trait. So I think this actually makes perfect sense as far as a pickup here. But yeah, back to Xayah BIS. So the Kraken and red buff, really, really important. She spreads red buff really, really nicely. A lot of people tend to build Gwinsus on this unit because she makes sense as a Gwinsus unit, right? She auto attacks and scales with the number of attacks that she's making. But it's a lot better usually just to play for the red buff because it gives her that instantaneous attack speed. You don't have to waste all the time of her stacking up, and usually you can't play for super, super long fights with this board. And 2, she's really good at spreading the red buff. She hits a lot of different targets with her feathers bouncing around. And so you really like to have red buff on any kind of unit like that that's hitting a bunch of different targets. So she's a great applier of it, and she uses the stats really, really nicely. And so red buff Kraken is her BIS. And then last item, ideally, once again, is another Kraken. You can do something like this and have a Deathblade on her. It's totally fine. You can do like Giant Slayer, and it's, totally fine. A lot of other stuff, not very good. Stuff like Infinity Edge, still very suboptimal onto her. So you really do like this build here. I am always a fan of a Star Quest, but he's actually, going to take the left side here and gets, that is a good hit here. So almost makes up for the fact that we missed on those earlier anvils here. We get a Xayah with a bow attached, which is just amazing here. So now we can consider, starting to pivot the board a little bit into some more of these Stargazers. And we do get our first mountain unit here. And he's actually, wow, even gonna, just take the Xayah off the board for now, saying, I gotta play Strongest Board right now. And Strongest Board here is playing around this Belveth too, getting Challenger even in with the Caitlyn. So really just clean play from Darth Nub, not falling into the trap of saying, I want to play Stargazers late game, so I'm going to play as many as I can right now. No, he's just saying, you know what? I want to play Strongest Board right now. I need to save some of my HP. And so I am going to play this board. Though now, after losing that fight, he's like, okay, I am going to pivot this board into Xayah because she's a good item holder, and now I actually have a sniper that I can play around, and the board will be pretty good. Okay, so he's starting to get to some of the board. You can see a lot of the core of the board here. The idea being you can play around Xayah with an extra sniper here. You can fit Atrox and the Maokai pretty easily onto this board here for Nova. Atrox obviously with Jax, and you're getting Bastion onto the board. And then the bruiser that you tend to fit is Thomas Kench on this board. We don't have him yet, but you can just throw him in on the board as a good bruiser. And then you kind of have everything. You have Nunu as good frontline. You can fit Vanguard in. Best Vanguard to hit is Blitzcrank, ideally, just because he can be a good duo carry on this board, and also activates a ton of traits for the Ross that you're going to try to play later. But you guys will see as we kind of approach the full board here. We do pick up the Ross here, which we do have in Team Planner, and we are going to roll down trying to pick up the board here. Has these Orans, but yeah, we don't really care for them that much. Is picking up the Ramesses as well as an alternative duo front line, because, once again, this is something that you can play towards if you get there. Do not actually, oh my god, the final anvil ends up being red buff, so this is a good pickup. And he's forced to make Steadfast Heart, which tends not to be an amazing tank item, but it's good enough here, and it's a tank item onto Nunu, which is what we need. We need frontline here. All right, last augment here. I'm always a fan of second win in comps like this, but maybe too much. We'll see what, I think Best Friend's a little awkward. Oh, we do hit Earth here. It's okay, yeah, but it's actually not that crazy because you're not going to spat, obviously, like Xayah or anybody like that. We see Gilded Steel here, which has a lot of good hits. Don't really hit any of them, which is actually really rough. We were looking for Jin and for Blitzcrank. Those are obviously the really, really big hits here. Yeah, this is rough. We actually have no Gilded Steel value here. So we're literally playing down an augment. You want to ideally field some... oh wait, he had... Where did this Jin come from? Okay, my bad. I think he just found the Jin while he was rolling earlier there and while I was yapping. Okay, well, now we have the Jin on the board. So actually, Gilded Steel's amazing here. Okay, we don't even have to worry about it at all. Okay, so yeah, with the Jin, we've actually finished a huge portion of the board that you want to play. Jin, I think basically always comes in this board over Samira, who's usually your pre-Jin. If you cannot hit the Jin, you just play Samira too. She's actually really nice on this board because there's a lot of knockups. You think about Nunu on this board, Rost on this board. If you can fit Blitzcrank on this board as well, you can actually get a ton of knockups. And so Samira ends up firing a bunch of extra bullets and actually doing a lot of damage on this board. But Jin, obviously, he has that Eradicator bonus and is just a great duo carry. So you're always going to play him when you can, and he is going to really, really spike the board. The biggest things that spike this board are getting to the Jin and then also like reaching level 9 and getting the rest of your units in along with Ross. That's what you really, really want to get here. And you can see we're going to take another loss here. Low health quest is too good to pass up. It must be, right? He's, I guess, considering if he wants. I'm confused here, actually. He's really wow. That blows me away. He's thinking, that it's possible that we can hit stuff, like units that we want to fit on the board. There's also a possibility of actually getting like a 5 cost that we want. We do end up selling out here, so it does not really provide us that much benefit, but it also does give us the Varus as our God boon here, which is a lot of extra HP onto this board. So he's saying, you know what, I care a lot more about that than I do about the AD and AP, which we already kind of have covered with stuff like the DB, with stuff like the Kraken, with stuff like just the Stargazer effect from the Mountain in general. Wow, I would not have expected him to take that just because it's so much less gold, especially on our way to level 9, but I think he really just wants the Varus boon, and he also, knew that like there was a chance that we could get. We have Jin paired here. Had we got another Jin, we would literally have Jin 2 here. We could have hit Blitzcrank, which would have been good. We could have even hit. I guess you can't hit TK because there's no 5 cost brawler. So. That's not even something that you can hit, so I guess that's a little bit sad. But hey, it happens. But yeah, we've gotten to a pretty strong version of the board. This is one of the things about this line is that it's quite strong on level 8, but it also really, really shines on level 9. If you can truly reach your level 9 cap of this board, you can certainly win out the lobby, and that's what Darth Nub is hoping for in a spot like this. Is we lost streaked really, really hard, but we're about to make it to 9, albeit a little bit slowly here. It's a little scary. We are going to make it there. Really looking for last Nunu item. We do not need to build armor shred because we have it just built in here, and so we end up taking Nunu item plus Jin item is what you ideally want here, and we end up finishing it with Bramble Gunblade here, which not exactly the most exciting Nunu item, or really either one. The Gunblade really not that exciting onto Jin, but hey, good enough in a spot like this. It gets us to an item. Do get our extra gold there, which is nice. Pick up Mord, who actually is a really nice extra in on this board as well. Like I said, Blitz is normally who you want to fit in because he's a great unit, but Mord actually does really good double duty as well. Gets Dark Star and Vanguard in for your board, which is really good for Ross. Same as Blitz, it's 2 traits, Space Groove and Vanguard, but also, obviously getting that Dark Star effect is really nice on any kind of late game board, just get the execute, but especially a board like this, Xayah and Jin doing a lot of this like little splash damage, and so sometimes you randomly get a backliner super, super low here. We do get our trade quest here. I don't know if Darth Nub forgot about that the entire game, or if it's just me, but that is the world's latest trait quest cash out. But hey, we get it. We get Space Groove, which is actually not the worst in a spot like this, because now we can just play this Mordekaiser the entire game and use Space Groove as just +1 trait for Rost here. So it's not even that bad. It's a 7 trait Rost, which is very, very juicy in a spot like this. So yeah, that's going to be our setup here, and obviously, we're not going to get more traits in with more Stargazer, but we are going to get just higher levels of it, which is very good, and maybe even a level 10 eventually. For now, I think we can just chill on this board, and he's still rolling for, obviously, the Jin 2 is the big hit. Even a random Thomas Kench 2 would be pretty decent on this board, who, interestingly, Tom Kench usually ends up being your main tank on this board just because you're actually activating Brawler for him. The Vanguard effect tends to come in later. But Nunu, sometimes you just have all these frontline caster items for Nunu, and you just end up having to put items onto him. And it's also totally fine, especially once you reach 9 and you can get Vanguard in. End up taking Vow here, which is a pretty good Nunu item, just means that we are kind of stuck in item purgatory here, stuck with all of these extra, this extra steadfast, which doesn't really do anything, but hey, good enough. And hitting the Jin 2 is one of the last huge spikes for this board that allows us to really, really cap high enough to start winning these fights. You look at Wigwug's board, a solid level 8, well, actually, I don't know how Wigwug ended up in this spot with these like kind of janky, quirky items. Looks like he was probably trying to play Xayah himself, but did not get Mountain in, and also, realized that, that Darth Nub was playing this line, and so thought, okay, I can't really contest him here. Darth, by the way, still rolling down on 14 HP, saying, I'm kind of afraid. There's some strong boards in this pool, and if I fight anybody with a really strong board, I could actually lose and just, bot 4. And I mean, Robin, very strong board, 6 Dark Star here. The big A Soul does a lot of damage to the Nunu, but still this Nunu managed to get 2 casts off, which is crazy here. So yeah, this is going to be an easy win for Darth. Robin's going to go down here, and yeah, this ended up actually being a pretty low cap Larry lobby. Just not that many people with like crazy upgraded boards. And so we're able to actually just start farming people right now. We do see that is a carry board from David Ace with that Rogue Spat Corky and everything going on there. So we'll see if we can beat that, because we have finally upgraded our entire board. Not really much else to do here. Also, blech. I mean, I guess we have to take Sterax for Jin item. I mean, I don't love it, but I mean, it's a solid amount of AD for the guy, and I mean, we need a Jin item here. We must have it. So yeah, look at this positioning, by the way, just saying, I don't need to move backline. The only thing I need to do is move this Nunu over last second, make sure I get him positioned correctly here. Sadly, he's actually not in a good spot to ball backline, and this is a really strong board that we rotate into, so this might be the end for Darth Noob here. Oh, it's so close, actually. Better Nunu positioning, and we might have actually been able to win the fight if we had Nunu in the middle, and he would have balled this backline here. Still a really good performance for Darth Noob, just showing off how consistent the Xayah comp is when you hit it. I mean, the second that he hit his Xayah 2, and really the big spike of pushing level 9, he just started winning basically every fight and just killing the entire lobby. And yeah, this is just another option that should exist in your toolbox when playing AD Flex. We talked about Mountain this game, by the way, just for some extra info. The best ones for Xayah here, aside from Mountain, which like I talked about, is not even that great. It's like okay. Our Serpent first. Serpent is like the OP broken one that you would love to play this one from. I played a Serpent Xayah game and just coasted to an easy first. Boar is also really good, especially the earlier you can get it in, the more you can start stacking the gold and feel really good about it. And then Altar. Altar is quite good as well. That's another one where you want to get it in early, but if you can, get the Altar stacked up, this board caps it really well. The rest, pretty mediocre. Fountain, don't love it. Huntress is actually really poor in the stats, but you can still do it in a pinch. And Medallion, obviously, you're not re-rolling for anything, so it doesn't make any sense. So that's the guide to playing this new school version of Xayah, where you play around Nova and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitch for Metafy. All my links down below. Oh, I will actually announce something else. I am running a discount on my Metafy starting now for the mid-set. I know a lot of people are trying to push their ranked goals through the next like month and some change for the end of the set. And I'm also going to have a little bit more time now that the main competitive season is over for the set. So if anyone is interested in getting coaching, you have basically a week, a little bit under a week, but you basically have like the rest of this week until Sunday night through the end of the month to use this code. You can always use this to get sessions and redeem them later if you want. I am also allowing this to be used on things like my group coaching. So if you are interested in subscribing to Tacticians University, this is the time. Also, my Legendary Tacticians, I still have one slot open because I think I said this at some point, but one of my students had to drop out. So if you're interested, you can sub there for my one-on-one coaching program. I am also running a tournament in that program. So if you do subscribe, you will be able to participate in that tournament. It's happening this weekend, Saturday, at, let me pull up the exact time, 10 a.m. Pacific time this Saturday. So if you guys are interested in playing a tournament, it's got a $500 prize pool, so pretty decent. You can sign up for Legendary Tacticians and get some coaching and then play in that. And then we're also going to do an end of set one as well for people who are in it as well. So yeah, go check it out. Use code, I got the code here, SZA25 off for any of your Metafy needs. Great time to join group coaching, especially as we have another patch that's dropping in just a few days. So hope you guys enjoyed everything. As always, I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching, and yeah, bye-bye.